So I made that last video about MTR, and at first, I believe he downplayed the situation. But who knows, maybe he really didn't see it.
Nigga, please.
Even though everybody was talking about it. But the next day, he broke up with Pearl. Aww. And I put that clip at the end of the video. But judging by the analytics and comments, most of y'all didn't see it. And
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
Just know, MTR, I respect that you broke up with Pearl after you saw her flirting with Nick the Dick. Pause. So you get points for that. But in the future, hopefully your audience doesn't have to convince you to go check your girl for wilding in 4K. Oh, and Pearl moves on fast.
Can you get
What
me
should women do?
Can you get me a sandwich?
Yeah, you want the bowl?
Yeah, can I actually have it?
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they should do.
Watching Pearl act fake feminine has to be the funniest thing ever because we all know she really wanted to tell Sneeko, go fix your own fucking sandwich. But that's bad for business. And let's be honest, Pearl wants to be the CEO, not fix sandwiches. She wants to beef with men on the internet, not apologize for the racist things she says. She wants to make fun of people's cancer and their balls, not be a nurturing, loving wife. In fact, I'd bet $1,000 that in 40 years, she'll be old, single as fuck, still clipping up her stupid podcast videos saying,
let me fix you some sandwiches.
But anyways, the summer's almost here, and I don't want no problems with nobody on the internet.
Wait, we gonna take a brief intermission, because I just remembered I gotta handle some other business.
I heard a creator had my name in their mouth. Bro, you're irrelevant. No one has talked about you in a long time, including me, and I'm not gonna start. And you're 50-something, threatening to fight me? You damn near a senior citizen. First of all, if you had said this to me in my early teenage years, I wouldn't have said shit. On the internet, just pulled up to your low-budget conference with my team and made you apologize on camera. And trust me, if I told my homies who love this shit, who live for this shit, who are really, really with the shit, that I'd pay for their flight and hotel, and all they had to do was steal some old-ass man's walker and AARP card, man, them boys would eat you alive.
I know how I'm talking. He like, man, I should punch him in his face.
Listen, bro, real G's move in silence. They don't speak on the internet. Fortunately for me, I've never been a gangster. In fact, I'm the friend who told his friends to chill. Y'all wildin'. Nigga, that's enough. But imagine if I wasn't there to tell him to chill.
It's gonna be a riot. A lot of your niggas dying. So avoid y'all running out of here, calling for help. Tuck that pride away, tough guy. Keep that thought to yourself.
Anyways, I'm grown now. Picture me telling my wife I'm flying out to make some YouTuber apologize over YouTube beef. I'ma tell you the same thing I know she would tell me. Grow the fuck up, bitch.
Now back to regularly scheduled programming.
So MTR and 6 used to be cool.
Shout out to the brother MTR. What it do, baby? Real recognized real.
But you recently called out 6 for talking about Nate's accident. And she responded, but I don't think you have your facts straight. So I'm gonna give it to you this time. Pause. That sounded like some shit Melanie King would say. Oh! Wait, y'all. That's not a diss. Y'all was just real flirty on that live.
You guys are gonna fuck, aren't you?
All jokes aside, MTR, I don't think you had your facts straight, which is unfortunate because lines were crossed and it is what it is. But I rock with you and 6. Hell, I don't even have anything against Nate, but I gotta cut one of y'all off. So sit back and relax, cause we're about to get started right now.
Brim low on my fitted, dreams always been vivid. I'm just trying to go get it, catch me right around and I'm ignorant, I'm just rolling.
So, I watched everything, over 30 hours of content from 6 and 8. I started off reacting to it, but the video got so long, it would have been over 4 hours, and I wasn't about to edit all that shit. So here's the summary. 6 joins alive on Lapeef Network.
Hey, Chaotic,
hey.
Hold on, yeah.
Hey, y'all.
I'm gonna go to a white panel. I'm out of here.
Hey.
What's going on, 6? Welcome to the show. What you got for
How
us?
y'all doing? Hey.
Hi, 6.
Hey.
6.
Who's that?
I have a quick question. I have a question for the brother on the end. What is his name?
It's chaotic.
Agent of Chaos.
Where are your parents from?
I you know what? I'm so tired of answering that question. You
Why?
know, that's a private question.
And Chaotic started losing it.
And I'm so tired of answering that question because what
Why
does
are
it
you
matter?
tired of answering it? I've asked it to you one
I'm tired of
time.
everybody asking me that question. Like, what does that question mean anyway?
It means a lot.
Okay,
I'm just simply asking what is your background? I don't understand.
Okay. They're from Japan. Okay, now, what's the next question?
Okay, so if your parents are from Japan,
They're not from Japan, but go ahead. If they were, what's the question?
why are you defensive? And I've asked you one question.
Because I get that question so many times on black panels.
Why do you think that black people ask you that question?
I have no idea why. You know what? This is what I love about white people. They don't infringe upon my rights.
Chaotic. White people don't infringe on your right is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because they surely infringed on my parents' right, my grandparents' right, and my ancestors.
I'm going to interrupt you right there because
I know, because that's what black people do.
One thing that I do know is that your parents are definitely not from America. So this is the problem that I'm having. I would not go to your country and try to tell you what it is and what it is not. If we are here, we've been here our whole lives, our parents are here.
Chaotic gets emotional, and Six proceeds to roast his ass.
You cannot now come here and then say and gaslight us and say that
you love walk down the back alley with
and
two
that
Negroes
we're
behind you. Keep it real.
and that we don't get mistreated in the
You
justice
wouldn't
system
walk down the
because
back
you
alley
had a
after-
job at a courthouse. It
You
just
would not
it's
walk down a back
unintelligent and
alley.
it's disingenuous.
You would not walk down a back alley with two Negroes behind you. Stop lying. Stop.
Hold on,
Now-
Elijah. Let them talk, Elijah.
You
Now,
know, ma'am.
now-
You would not walk down a back
Hold on,
alley
Elijah.
with
We
two
can't
black
hear him.
men
Can't nobody
behind you.
hear. Let him
You
talk.
know it. You don't live around black people. You live in
I
you probably
would not
you live
walk.
on a cul-de-sac in a
Sir,
suburb. You don't live around
You
black
are
people. Stop.
extremely
You drive a white.
emotional. Why
Ma'am,
are you so
ma'am,
emotional right now?
Because why?
Like
Because
this
why are you saying
emotion
you
that
wouldn't go to
you're
my country?
exuding
I'm American.
is indicating a bigger problem that you have. What is it that you are trying to fight or convince us of right now?
Okay, Lapeef. Can we do it like this? Can we just do?
Thank you, Six.
She asked a question, then I answer, and then I ask a question. She answers. Can we do it just like that for a minute, Lapeef?
Well, honestly, I didn't
your first
come here to necessarily have a direct dialogue.
Can I answer your first question?
I think we've heard
Can
enough.
I answer
we
your?
kind of
Okay.
get your mindset. The point is this.
It's fascinating that you go on black panels, they ask you a fucking question and you can't give the answer. This is a problem in the black community. The only people who restrict my
I thought you said you were a gentleman.
Carlton Banks.
It's not
Carlton Banks.
It's not Asian
You
people.
need to calm down.
People, particularly black women.
Your pocket protector is in a bunch.
You niggas commit a lot of crimes and you know it. You are
Your
single mothers and you know it.
suspenders are
Stop
too tight.
You wouldn't park your car in the hood and keep that door unlocked because you know a nigga will take the damn
Listen,
car.
I'm not gonna put you in a locker. I know you have PTSD.
You gotta go on mute. We need to stop
I'm not gonna take your lunch money, and your pocket protector is in a bunch.
Pretending
His
here
childhood
like
trauma just made an appearance.
Carlton, I don't know what happened to you as a kid, but you are safe here. Nobody is going to take your lunch money here. No one's going to put you in a locker.
You don't live around niggas. Quit
oh my God, are you having a breakdown?
Pretending that you're so black.
Oh my God.
That you're black. You don't like niggas just as much as I don't like niggas. Just as much as Divine don't like niggas.
Why are you here, Katie?
I love black men.
On this show.
You don't live in the
Why
hood.
are you here?
Oh my God.
Show us your hood right now. I bet you go outside of a cul-de-sac and you got a 12-bedroom house.
Which was hilarious. But then she said that she was scared. And I wasn't really feeling that comment.
Talking about I was a probation officer
what school
working
did you
with
teach
these
at?
populations.
So we never
You-
ever
no. You hold on because you don't live around these people that you're trying to take up for.
Until
There's
you
no-
recover from
you
this
don't.
PTSD
Show
attack
us,
you're having,
prove it,
I'm not
prove
I'm
it,
not talking to
prove
you
it
any
now.
further.
Prove it now.
I am no longer giving you consent to speak to me because you are aggressive and you are emotional and you are having a mental breakdown and you are scaring me, sir. I'm scared. Please stop talking to me, and I do not give you consent to speak to me anymore. Get out of here then if you don't want to hear me. Get out. No, I don't have to get out anywhere. JR said I can be here. This is not your panel. You cannot kick me out.
But we can't act like Chaotic wasn't being really emotional. And in Six's live, she explained that there were only 3 options. She could have said she didn't feel comfortable like she did. She could have got ratchet with him, and I'm ratchet. I would have loved to see that. But then the comments would have been calling her masculine. Lastly, she could have left, and then people would have been saying she was scared to debate. And since I personally couldn't come up with a better way that she could have handled that situation, I retract my disagreement on how she handled that. Then her and Logic debated about her saying she was scared, and then they finally got back to the debate where Brother Nate tried to talk to her, but she wasn't really trying to talk to him.
Relevant.
Is he could have been from Paris.
Logic. Please answer this question.
Hold up.
So are you saying
can I make a statement? Can I make a statement because hold on, Logic. Can I make a statement because the point she's making.
I'm sorry, I wasn't done asking my question.
But what you're about to say is irrelevant because it's not pushing the conversation forward.
If we are having a conversation about the government within a certain country, asking if that person's background is from that country is not relevant to the conversation.
No, it is not, and I'll explain to you why.
I wasn't talking to you. I'm sorry.
I'm aware that you're not, but you're not.
But
I'm the one that's qualified to have the conversation because I've done the actual job. I worked in the criminal justice field.
I really came on here because Logic had said something about me, and I was simply trying to ask him a question about
Logic, can I ask you something since you're moderating this channel?
I only want to turn to an argument. I'm gonna just say this to you, Six Goddess. I'm gonna just say this to you. Hey, look, I have nothing against you, I always call it fair, straight down the middle.
The reason why Six didn't want to talk to you, Nate, was stated in this live.
I already knew I knew his mind was going to be too far gone. By him not being FBA and you're a police officer, I already knew his mind was too far gone, which is why I did not engage him in the first place.
I personally believe it was the cop thing, for sure, because she had no problem debating Chaotic, who she said was a non-FDA because his parents weren't born in the U.S. And side note, I strongly disagree with Six and other YouTubers on this whole FDA versus non-FDA. As a black man, a black American, I've heard blacks and non-FDA stay on code. And I've also heard other black Americans and non-FDAs say crazy stuff as well. And even Nate admitted that in his live.
Shout out to Big Mike. It's nationalism. You know, we're gonna talk about that. I appreciate you being in the chat, Big Mike. Big Mike's also a good brother too. He's a strong FBA member as well. He's just pro-black. I love it. He's just pro-black. I had a chance to have a conversation with him. And I know where the disconnect is. The disconnect comes from a lack of respect from some people who come to this country that are black skinned and don't show any respect to the people who helped build this country, or I don't say help build this country, right? Let's be real. A lot of us who are immigrants or descendants of immigrants who came here would not be here if it wasn't for the sacrifice of black Americans. And we also have to be mindful that black Americans, even slaves, would not have been able to do this without the help of white people, right? We got to understand who we're upset with, make sure we direct that anger properly. Everybody who comes to this country who's not a FBA or a descendant of slaves is not disrespectful.
I agree with that, but back to the summary, because all this commotion must have woke up Big Daddy.
Why are you gay?
No homo.
But
okay,
you're
still not explaining how what I said was aggressive, and you're still not explaining why his response was.
It had anything to do with that topic. If you want to be honest, you took a shot at him.
Am I bothering you?
You bothering me?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or we could talk about how women weaponize the use of them being afraid against other men and get them in trouble. We can discuss that.
I'm sorry.
And then laugh about it as if it's funny.
I'm sorry, I'm talking to my man. I'm sorry, I wasn't talking to you. Thank you.
That's fine.
But that's not the funny part. This is.
So can we discuss the criminal justice system? I think it's a good topic. We could segue in.
Yeah, we can move on.
And you know, if you got to deal with your man 6, you're more than welcome to handle that.
I'm jealous. I got a woman to make me a sandwich. I'm hungry. Y'all got my sushi cold. Little piece and got my sushi cold.
If she just did that, go make a sandwich for her man and get off the panel. I don't understand why she just won't do that.
No, bro, come on, let her be, bro. Let her be. Let it be.
The reason why I think it's interesting is because the reason why I think it's interesting is because I'm also a foreigner and I've worked in the criminal justice system. So based on her logic, she's basically saying that my statements aren't valid either, and I can't speak on it. I've worked in the Black community for 13 years. My whole family is Jamaican. So based on her logic, what I have to say and what I do is not valid. And that's why I have to push back on that statement. So to your point, Logic, regardless of where Chaotic is from, how ridiculous his statements may seem, if facts are facts, they don't care about your feelings. 6.
I think her man getting that sandwich that I want.
Bro, that's exactly what she was saying. Your opinion isn't valid, and I disagree with her on that, but you trying to get her attention wasn't going to change her mind, and we all take L's, but you should have fell back because now we can see yours on camera.
6.
And Nate, I do have some disagreements on the actual debate, and I may address it in another video. We'll see. But that was pretty much the whole live. There was some debates in there, and like I said, I tried to react to them, but that video was too long, and most of you probably wouldn't have watched it, so I cut that shit. Now, once again, both creators, I did rock with y'all, but one of y'all gotta go. So let's talk about this. 6, you did kind of start this because the next day, she reacted to the live, and she roasted a couple of people. Obviously, she roasted Chaotic, but she also had a few jokes for Nate as well. In my opinion, they were all lighthearted jokes and some harsh truths, like this one.
What I told you about a lot of them police officers. What I told you about the psychology on why they become. Why do they become that job? You don't make any money. It's dangerous. You risk your life. It's thankless. Who the fuck becomes a cop? Okay? You know why? Because the power in it is what they really seek. That's why every chance he gets in this conversation, it's like nobody, literally nobody, not one person. I'm the one that's qualified. Sir, shut up. I don't know how else to say this nicer. Shut up. I'm the one that's qualifying. Man, shut the hell up. It's a YouTube panel. Like, he is really going around, you know, swinging his chest around. I'm the one that's qualified, sir. Nobody cares. Oh my God, it's the inferiority complex for me. Every chance he get, I'm the one that's qualified. People who are really qualified don't need to sit and swing around the fact that they're qualified. Shut up. Because what? You went to the police academy, you're qualified? We don't care. I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Oh, you're going to talk to me because I'm qualified. Oh, I don't want to.
Now, she said a lot of funny things, but there were some harsh truths about what she said, because it is also my experience that most people I know that become cops, they weren't as popular in school and they wanted to assert their authority. In fact, one of the guys that got accused of SA at my high school, he became a cop. So there's some truth to that. But I also have family that are cops that I know aren't like that. So what percentage of cops become cops because of this? Honestly, I don't know. Then she made jokes about you being mad and her not wanting to talk to you.
Okay. You so mad. Why are you upset? You so salty. Boy, you can feel the salt. Look at his face. This is the salty nigga starter kit phase, bro. You Lowry salt, boy. Boy, you sea salt, you coarse sea salt, salty boy, milk thud head ass boy. Boy, you mad at the motherfucker, boy. How you mad policing what I'm doing, boy? Oh, I forgot because you is the police, boy. You the police and assault precinct, boy, head ass. Oh, all right. Well, go with your man then, head ass.
Man, 6 could have been roasting me, and I would have been crying laughing. Now 6, I'll roast your ass back. But this was funny.
Guys, we're having fun. This is content. We have likes, we have people here. We're having a good time.
So 6 did kind of start this beef by reacting to that live. But Nate, come on, Nate. You took it to a whole new level. And I think I understand why. It's because you don't tell jokes. That's not your style. So the way you fight back, well, it's by trying to expose people. Now, I didn't think it was cool, but who am I to tell you how to respond to disrespect? Shit, if someone threatened to fight me and coincidentally my friend started extorting him for his social security check every month, nobody better say shit to me. So Nate, what did you do? Well, first thing you did was dox her real name. Then you pinned a comment about her dancing in the past. But anyone that's rocked with 6 knows she's really not hiding her past like most creators. She also talked about her past as well. But you went in with that video, and no one can knock you for the first response, maybe even the second. But bro, by now, you got a whole playlist on just 6. And then you did something which made me question your integrity, which was lie. See, in your last stream, you showed off this bogus timeline. Notice you only put you responding 3 times, including this video. So even you on the low realized that this is a little weird. And you also tried to act like 6 started this beef back up again in this video. And at first, I was like, hey, if she started with you, it is what it is. But as I continued to watch through these long-ass lives, and I put my timeline together, I realized it was you, bro. See, on March 24th, 6 made her first video talking strictly about Pearl. And you decided to go live that same day. And here's your comment from that video.
You know, I had the same issue with another content creator where they were talking about criminal justice system, police issues, and things like that. And I called her out. Well, I didn't call her out, right? I was correcting some of the misinformation that she was putting out. And it turned to be a thing, right? It turned out to be a thing. And so again, if you specialize in makeup, hair, and nails, that's what you're good at, then don't come over here and talk to somebody about how to do surgery when that person's a doctor doing surgery, right? So again, it's like, you know, you have to be able to, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, that's not my strong suit. I do it all the time on this channel. Hey, I want to talk about this. I have my thoughts on this, but guess what? This is not my area of expertise. And I don't try to pretend like it is.
So this was a light jab at her. And just because someone's an officer doesn't mean they know the law. We see cops on video embarrassing themselves all the time because they don't know the law. You also don't need to know your history to become a cop. So I can't really give you that either. Do you sound like you're knowledgeable? Sure, but all cops aren't knowledgeable.
And so I think that conversation was way too advanced because honestly, I could tell, I understood what she was trying to say in the midst of the conversation because I listened to the entire context of it. I watched the entire thing. So I understood the context of what was being said. And so that's what we're going to talk about. And again, I'm not going to speak for, I'm just saying what my interpretation of as to what was being said, if that makes sense. Coney gives a $5 super chat. He says, some of the content creators were just looking for excuses to cancel her. She is more successful than them and they are hating. She took over. She did take over that space. She commanded that space. She created her power. I didn't even know she had 1 million subscribers, you guys.
Pearl is doing okay on YouTube, but the only reason she's at 1 million subscribers is because of YouTube Shorts. But they don't equal money or views. And I know other creators that are guilty of that as well. Hell, I'm guilty of that. Example, let's take this Andrew Tate short. I got almost 3 million views. I gained almost 2,000 subs off of that video. But I bet most of them don't watch my channel. And I made $2 on it. 1 million views on a regular video on YouTube is about 2 to I'd say 30,000. Depending on your niche, it's more than 15. Another example is my finance channel. Almost at 60,000 subscribers. all off shorts. But I haven't made a dime off that channel. But when I get time, I'll work on it again. See, I could inflate my numbers too, but I don't want to be at 1 million subscribers only getting under 5,000 views like Pearl. In fact, I could put up those numbers right now if I posted more like her. And I've only got 20,000 subscribers. But anyways, you took the first shot, Nate, which relighted the beef. And someone probably sent it to 6. So she took a shot back at you by calling you names like Officer Curry Goat. She also played the tape of you almost dying in that traffic stop, which I would say was low, but I'm 100% sure if you had a tape like that on her, you would have played the shit too. So it's hard to give anyone the higher moral ground. And in her last live on you, she made a few statements on you about information she'd gathered on you.
When I seen how you're conducting yourself on a job, I have no desire to have a back and forth with you because I see you have a very egotistical personality into which you try to stop a moving vehicle. Now, the interesting thing about the state of Georgia is it is an open record state. And when I requested the records from this man's write-ups and his incident reports, it was countless numbers of them that were deemed to be preventable incidents. And he was reprimanded several times about conducting himself incorrectly during traffic stops. So, you know, this man was a bad cop. Several instances of him being written up, which I could pull up, but I'm going to fly high. I'm not going to pull up your dirt how you tried to pull up mine, sir. Okay.
So after all that, she still decided not to dox you.
So I went ahead and talked to one of my officer friends. And I showed them the video. I showed them the incident report. And he said, I see why he does not work for them anymore. Okay. Because you become a liability when you have that egotistical personality where you don't know how to follow procedure. So this man has several instances of stalking people on the job, following them around with no sirens on, no lights on, which is against the law. That video that I laughed at, that I was evil for laughing at, which we're going to get into that, MTR. That was a preventable incident in which he endangered himself, his fellow officer, the possible suspect, and everyone around him because of his ego. And not at one point, MTR, did you take the time to look into this and say, you know what? This man is an ex-police officer. If you know, police officers are some of the most dangerous men for women to get into it with. They have very high rates of domestic violence, stalking, and harassing.
Interesting. If that's true, that's kind of sad.
And so I talked to one of my officer friends, and this is the way it goes in Georgia, okay? You pull over a suspect, which in that instance, that male pulled that person over because they were holding their cell phone in their hand. Not that he thought there was a child kidnapped in the back. Not that he was driving 200 miles per hour, endangering the road, because he was driving with a goddamn cell phone in his hand. We all know the black cops got to work overtime to show the white cops that they're not going to give us no favor because they black too. So he hits them with the, do you smell weed? Okay. And this is the report from the officer. Do you smell weed? The other officer's like, he come to the driver's side. Yeah, I smell weed. Okay. Then he walks back over to the passenger side. It is then on record that they visually see that person put that car in drive. The other officer followed procedure and removed himself back from the vehicle. Okay, the male that I'm having an issue with decides to reach into the car to attempt to stop it from taking off, when he had already been reprimanded several times before that to have some chill at these traffic stops. It is against the law in Georgia. If you have a non-felony, a potential non-felony crime in progress, the police cannot chase you. They cannot try to detain you. They're not allowed to reach into your car. It's against protocol, and everyone got endangered.
These allegations, I think you should speak on, but if you don't, life will still go on. But let's talk about how you contradicted yourself in some of these lives. Roll a clip.
And all they got to do is say, yes, I went to school with Chaotic. And yes, I'm telling you, there were raids with them white boys and they were getting busted on campus.
Do you identify as black?
Ma'am, I identify.
Now, let's start off with this, right? This is something I've seen often, you guys, and this is the problem with our community right now as it exists, is the division, right? The insults. We have to insult each other. We make accusations. We insinuate certain things when we hear things we do not agree with. This is a problem, right? Chaotic was speaking on some data. He was speaking on experiences, and she had the nerve to ask him, right? Do you identify as black?
Now, personally, I don't think asking that question is bad, but I've never been asked that question before, so I may be biased, but roll the next clip.
It's like it's not harmful until it's too late. It's not destructive until the damage is so bad that it's too late. That's how we treat white supremacists in this country. Oh, it's like when you were kids and the guy puts his finger at your face, but he doesn't actually touch you. And then it's like, I didn't touch you. I didn't touch you. You can't do anything. And then you turn around and he hits you in the mouth and the damage is done. And you're like, but he didn't touch me.
Are you an American?
I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan.
That's what's up.
Okay. This kind of stupidity, man.
What's your religious belief?
Christian. I read the Bible cover to cover.
All right. And then what's your ethnic makeup?
Black, African American. Both sides, all four grandparents. You want to go there?
I'll just ask the question.
I'm just making sure we don't waste time.
No. But I just want to get a better understanding of who I'm talking to.
That's fine.
Nate, come on, Nate. Nate, it's cool when you do it, but it's a problem when they do it? I guess. And the last thing, Nate, the Pearl hypocrisy. This is what you said about Nick.
It's wrong, but it's not a genocide.
My point is, though, you're right.
So, because what you're describing, it still sounds like a genocide.
Okay. But the thing is, I don't think it was a genocide.
I'm going to Google the definition of a genocide. Do you know what the definition is?
It's when you try to kill off a whole people.
Oh, okay. But so you're saying it's not a genocide because they weren't trying to kill off a whole people?
Yeah, I don't think that there was ever a decision made like we're going to try and kill every Jewish person in Europe. I don't think that was.
So then why'd they take?
So that's his assumption. That's an assumption, and I don't know where he's rooting that in, right? And this is where people are saying he makes anti-Semitic statements, because what he's saying is basically what he's saying in a nutshell from what I've listened to from the entirety, but I just want to give you guys context into where his mentality is. He believes that Jewish people have embellished the Holocaust, and they have basically added some additional things or into the story. They embellished pieces of the story to make it sound a lot harsher than it was. So that's his position on it. He's saying that the things that he did based on his basic low-level research, right? Because at the end of the day, he said he's not an expert on it. He's saying, I don't understand how they came up with these numbers. I don't understand how he came up with these torture methods. And I don't believe that that was their intent to commit genocide. Regardless of what he believes or what he thinks is true, the actions of what took place in the Holocaust are exactly what happened, right? And they were being killed in mass numbers in very barbaric and sick ways, period. That's just what it is. His personal opinion is just his personal opinion. His personal opinion is not backed and supported by accurate historical events, right? So again, you as a person can have an opinion, right? But then if you're challenging it, then come with the facts.
That is exactly what Pearl did. And that's exactly why people said her statements were anti-Semitic. But how did you feel about Pearl's statements?
Society around it, in a way.
Okay, so it's kind of, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
The way they put American slavery as above all different types of slavery, almost. Where, because I read Sowell, so he talks about, oh God, this is going to be.
All right, that's the first one. That's the first one, right? She says that this reminds her of, again, she is about to make statements, and the statements she's about to make are coming from someone who is ignorant in the understanding, right, of the historical context of slavery. But what she is saying is, which, again, I believe, my understanding, she's making a statement from the perspective of, or her perception is, from what she's heard, is that people are saying that, okay, slavery is here in America, and then the people are acting like slavery didn't happen other places, right? And where she's missing, because of her ignorance in the subject matter, is that what people are saying is chattel slavery is unique in America, and it was horrific, it was barbaric, it was sick, it was evil, right? This is not the same slavery that has been existing in other places over time. This is chattel slavery. There's a difference. And again, she's speaking from a place of lack of severe knowledge on the subject matter. But that ignorance does not make her a racist, you guys. It just doesn't. It means she's not knowledgeable. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's operating outside of her wheelhouse. You guys, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Someone said, you're showing her grace. What grace am I showing? I just said she's ignorant.
And here's the problem I have with you, Nate, and it's separate from the Six the Goddess beef. If you're going to call Pearl ignorant, you have to also apply that standard to Nick, because they're saying similar things and they're a similar age.
Again, I listen to understand. I want to understand what she's trying to say. And then you correct the person, you guys. It's not that serious. She got it confused. She got it wrong, and she's operating with a flawed understanding. That's not showing her grace. That's just the truth.
Got it. So keep that same energy for Nick.
It was the Holocaust was not special, and all countries have done that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so you're saying, why is the Holocaust special?
Yeah, basically.
Oh. Okay, what do you mean, basically?
Well, yeah, I mean, because of course, you know, we're getting into the details of it, but yeah, that's the gist.
Yeah, I mean, but you kind of deny it happened.
I denied some of the parts of it.
You deny parts of it don't seem realistic to you. You think they were embellished upon.
I think they're embellished, yeah.
The same way. This sounds, oh gosh.
Oh boy.
They're gonna be in trouble. This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible. It was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
She doesn't sound confused to me. Sounds like she went looking for something to confirm her beliefs. And I also noticed, Nate, you said you watched the full interview, but you didn't address this statement.
And like, I forgot what founding father, but they were talking about how he really like he inherited slaves, and he actually had a really good relationship with them. He didn't make any money off the farm, but it was like if he freed them, they would all, what would they do?
Right.
And so he kind of looked at it as, I have to take care of them, and he wasn't even making money off of the farm.
Yeah.
But you know, then they say you're like, even now I'm like, oh gosh.
Well, I made a whole video on that dumbass comment Pearl made. So my final thoughts are, MTR, you on thin ice, bro, because of that Pearl situation.
I don't care who you are, shake it.
But you didn't have the facts, but now you do, bro. Six, I rock with you, but you and other YouTubers who do this whole non-FDA versus FDA thing is really divisive. And we honestly have bigger issues to worry about. And to brother Nate, dog, this isn't personal. Well, it kind of is. But you and any other creator who downplayed Pearl's statements, I personally can't rock with that. If there's one topic I'm not going to play the fence on, it's that shit Pearl said. And I found more dirt on her. That video's coming up though. But Pearly, just Pearly things. She really showed her ass in that interview. And if she said that in public, I can't imagine what she really thinks about us in private. So to you creators, let me be clear. I have no hard feelings towards you. It's no beef. I don't want to debate. I just can't support that. I'm not saying other people shouldn't watch y'all. I'm just saying I won't. I'm out.